What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. So for this one, I thought I would take you through a typical training session for an average powerlifter. So from start to finish, so walking through the door, warming up, and all the way to the final set on my accessory movements. And I'll give you a bit of a rationale as to why I choose some of the accessory movements that I choose, and give you a bit of an insight into how I approach my compound movements. So I've got bench and deadlifts today, but I just thought it would be quite interesting to see how long it takes me to train as an average powerlifter, and why I choose to do some of the movements that I do. But before we get into the gym, I need to have my pre-gym supplement, which includes some electrolytes, and I mix that with some creatine, which is hopefully inside this box. So this is something I've only been doing recently, surprisingly, and that is having electrolytes, because I have had a look at some of the research on creatine and how your body best absorbs it, and it does seem to be the case that when you have it with electrolytes, it does actually get into your system better. So that is the reason for that. Now we just need to try and find the scoop, as always. There we go. And if you are a powerlifter and you're not taking creatine, what are you doing? It is one of the most robustly researched supplements, which shows the most benefits, and it's obviously legal in all federations. So if you're not taking it, take it. That is obviously unless a GP, dietitian or health professional has told you otherwise. Nice. So the next step will be to have some pre-workout. I don't make a habit of having this every single session though, just because of the caffeine contents, and that does affect my sleep, which then affects my recovery. But I have it on my more intense days, and I've got a reasonably heavy deadlift and a reasonably heavy bench to do today, so I will have some, but I normally have that 10 to 15 minutes after my electrolytes, because otherwise it's just loads of water rushing into my belly all at once and just makes me feel quite uncomfortable. So I'll have my pre-workout in about 10-15 minutes, probably chill for 10-15 minutes after that before heading off to the gym. So I should probably get a new pre-workout soon, because this one, I don't know if you can see that, is really like clumpy and solidified in there, so I don't actually think it's that good quality, but the actual performance of it is pretty good. This is the Yeti Juice pre-workout, gummy bear flavour. Tastes pretty good and it seems to hit pretty hard, but I'm a little bit of a supplement fiend, so I like to try different ones, so I think next time around I'll be getting something different. Yeah, so we'll just clump in at the bottom. Sorry, I realise you're really close to the microphone here as well. Right, let's get to the gym. Okay, so I've just got to the gym. The time is 4:36. Let's see how long it takes an average powerlifter to get through a typical bench and deadlift session. Okay, so the time is now 4:44. I'm going to be prioritising bench first off, so obviously need to do a warm up and then we'll get straight into it. So I've got 135 to do for a single today with a few back down sets. So obviously making sure I'm warming up all of the joints I'm going to be using in the bench press, so elbows, shoulders, also back and rhomboids for that scapular retraction. Just making sure the rotator cuff is nicely warmed up as well. So 100 kilo at this point, wrist straps go on, just because I've got fragile wrists. $120, final warm up. Top set, 135. Nice. So from warm-ups to now, that's taken me a grand total of quick maths. 15 minutes, 16 minutes. So just gonna do my back downs now. It's 115 kilos for 3 sets of 4, and then we'll move on to deadlifts. So the time is now 9 minutes past 5, so it's taken me exactly 9 minutes to do my back down sets with a rest period of around 3 minutes on average. I like to sort of get bench done quite quickly. I don't feel like I need to really take long rest periods just because I recover quite quickly between sets, but it's taken just under half an hour to get bench completely done. Now moving on to warm ups for deadlifts. Alright, it's now 19 minutes past 5, so that was exactly 10 minutes of warming up for deadlifts. Now we're starting with 70 kilos, just going up in 25 plates until we get to a top set of 272.5 kilos. Let's get it. It's taken just under an hour to get to the point where I feel like I'm warm enough to finally take off my jumper. I don't know what that says about my warm-ups. Okay, 220. This is the point in which I normally put my belt on. Got this, then probably go 260, then top set 272.5. It's also at this point that I probably will put some music on just to get myself a bit more focused. Okay, so the time is now bang on 6 o'clock, and that is my 2 main compound movements done. Obviously deadlifts do take a little bit longer to complete just because I'm working up to a heavier weight, so there's more sets involved, but also it's a movement which requires more muscles, so you need longer rest periods in between to recover those muscles. So overall, I'm very happy with how bench moved, but I feel like deadlifts definitely could have moved a little bit better, but this is normally the case after I've just hit a heavy single. So last week I did 290, so this is technically week 1, so I always feel a little bit fatigued, and which is why normally it moves a little bit slower. So moving on to accessories now, and what I really try to focus on is posterior chain movements, especially when I have done deadlifts, so really focusing on hamstrings, and that's something that I'm really hammering, excuse the pun, at the moment, and I'm doing it 3 times a week. So on Monday I do a light hamstring curl, today I'll be doing a heavier hamstring curl, and in my midweek session on Wednesday I'll be doing some good mornings. I'll also be doing some heavy rows, so really focusing on my back because that just has good carryover to the bench, and obviously to squat and to deadlift. And then I'll be finishing with the smaller muscles, so some triceps, some biceps, and maybe if I have time, doing some lateral raises. I kind of treat my accessories the same as I would my compound movement, in as much as I like to track the weight but also progressively overload them. I also block them, so I'll do 4 weeks sort of peaking up, and then when it gets to a really heavy weight, I'll reset it, add a little bit of weight to week 1, and then build it up again, essentially the same way that I would be doing that with my main compound movements. Okay, so the time is 6:48, which means that it's taken just over 2 hours to complete my bench and deadlift session, which is pretty typical, I would say. Normally my sessions are between 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on what I'm doing. Obviously this is week 1, so it's not super heavy, so I was able to get through it a little bit quicker, but I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight into what a typical session is like for an average powerlifter like myself. And I hope you've enjoyed the video, but I'm gonna wrap it up there. So if you have enjoyed it, please leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, peace. Right, time to go get some food.